Hi, welcome to a demonstration of the Stimbrain neural processing program. The next screen that comes up is the menu screen. You'll see a choice of 4 exercises. Exercise 1, 2, 3, and 4. The exercise that you will be playing is highlighted in red. In this case, it's exercise number 1. Now, each of these 4 exercises is designed to test and measure a different portion of the brain's processing speed. Exercise number 1 is called See the Dog. We'll start by pressing number 1. It highlights number 1. Now, pressing the space bar will begin the program. Place your right index finger on the right shift key, because the images will appear very quickly and you want to be prepared as soon as they appear. So press the shift key, we'll start the program. Whenever the dog appears, you press the shift key as quickly as you possibly can. This program is measuring your reaction time, from the time that your brain sees the picture of the dog to how quickly you can respond to that picture by pressing the shift key. Now, the graph that is growing down the left side of the screen is the actual reaction time for each keystroke. It's measuring your time in hundredths of a second. Each time you see the dog, press the shift key. This exercise runs for exactly 2 minutes. You'll see the counter underneath the pictures will be counting down to 0, which will be the end of the exercise. And once again, the graphs on the left-hand side measure the reaction time of each keystroke. The sound of the children clapping and cheering, that's the dopamine response. That's the job well done reaction, so that the child understands that he did a good job with the program. Now, the graph on the right-hand side where it says average time, that graph shows the average time of all of the keystrokes for that 2-minute program. And this is the key number. This is your reaction time strictly to seeing the image appearing on the screen. And the objective is that every time you play exercise number 1, ideally that average reaction time should decrease for each time you play the program. That's a function of faster and faster processing speed of the brain. Next, we'll proceed on to exercise number 2. In exercise number 2, you press the number 2 key at the top of the keyboard. It highlights in red. Exercise number 2, see the dog but not the cat. Now, this exercise, you'll see an image of a dog or a cat flash onto the screen. If you see the image of the dog, you will press the right shift key, much like you did before. It will measure your reaction time in hundredths of a second from the time an image appears on the screen to your pressing the shift key. Also, when the image of the cat appears, do nothing. So once again, if you see the dog, press the shift key. If you see the cat, do nothing. To begin the program, we'll press the space bar. Cat, nothing. Dog, shift key. Dog, shift. Cat, nothing. Dog, shift. Dog, shift. Cat, nothing. Cat, nothing. Dog, shift. Each time the dog appears, I press the shift key. When the cat appears, I do nothing. This program will continue for 2 minutes, much like exercise number 1. The counter underneath the picture will display how much time is left in the exercise. The 2 boxes on the top left-hand side of the screen that say success or failure, this will measure any time you press the key for the wrong image. Like right now, I just pressed the key for the cat, failure came up to show a number 1 failure. It does not affect your reaction times, it just lets you know you made a mistake. Again, the counter underneath the image lets me know how much time is left in the exercise. Sound of the children clapping is a job well done. Again, now on the top right-hand graph where it says average time, that shows the average reaction time in green, the image of the dog appearing. Now that time will understandably be longer than exercise 1 because I had to make a decision whether I saw a dog or a cat before I pressed the right shift key. So you expect that time to be longer than the time for exercise number 1. The time in orange underneath that is the cognitive time. This is computed by taking the reaction time of exercise number 2 and subtracting the reaction time of exercise number 1. That differential is my cognitive time. Once again, that's how long it took my brain to realize that the image was a dog and not a cat. Likewise, as you progressively do this exercise time and time again, those numbers should decrease. The reaction time should get shorter, and the cognitive time should get shorter as well. Exercise number 3, we press the number 3 at the top of the keyboard, and that will highlight exercise number 3 in orange. Now this program is Tell Us Apart. What it basically does, it tests both sides of your brain. The image of the cat or image of a dog will flash onto the screen. When you see the image of the dog, you will press the right shift key. When you see the image of the cat, you will press the left shift key. The right side of your brain controls your left hand, and your left side of your brain controls your right hand. So now you're exercising both halves of your brain at the same time while you're measuring the reaction time of seeing the dog or the cat, as well as the cognitive time, because then you have to differentiate whether you're seeing the dog or the cat before you press the key. So to start the program, we're going to press the space bar and put your finger on the keys and ready for the first image. Cat, left. Cat, left. Dog, right. Cat, left. Dog, right. Now these images appear in no particular pattern. They're pretty much generated at random, so there's no way that we can guess which one is going to come up next. And the upper left-hand side where it shows failure and success, if you press the wrong shift key for the wrong image, it will measure how many failures you have. They don't count against you, it just lets you know that you're guessing instead of actually seeing the image. The graphs down the left-hand side of the screen represent your reaction time in hundredths of a second for each keystroke for that image. The objective, of course, is to get faster and faster with each keystroke. The exercise will run for 2 minutes. At the end of that 2 minutes, you'll hear the children applaud and cheer, and then down the right-hand side, you'll show an average time graph, which will give you the average reaction time for each of the image, as well as your cognitive time for how long it took you to think before you press the key. Now, if you look at the graphs on the right side of the screen, the average time graphs, the green graph shows the reaction time in hundredths of a second for the average of all of the keystrokes for that exercise. Now, of course, what we're seeing here now is I've played this exercise twice. So the first time I played it, got the top number, and the second was the bottom number. The objective is, of course, is to make faster and faster reaction times, and that graph should be getting shorter progressively each time you play it. Likewise, the orange bar represents your cognitive time, how long it took you to think before you pressed the key for the right or left side. In this case, the cognitive time is a little longer, but over a long period of time, every time you play this program, it will accumulate. Those bars they don't go away. Every time you sign in with your name, you will see another bar graph down the right-hand side, so you can see your progress over time.